Okay, so this is your girl, Sugary Girl Candy 2012, and I'm bringing you guys another article and to give my thoughts on what I think about it. So you read the title in the video itself, and you read the title on the video, so you already know what this is going to be about. So it's the title. It reads, with PlayStation 4 hitting 5 million in sales, Microsoft pins its Xbox One hopes on Titanfall. And I'm going to say a few things wrong with that in a minute. I'm going to read part of this. Sony on Tuesday announced that it has sold more than 5.3 million PlayStation 4 consoles, meaning its publicly announced goal to sell more than 5 million units by March. Pretty impressive. But with the Xbox One falling further behind its next-gen rival, Microsoft is now pinning its first-year hopes on a new and unimproved game called Titanfall, and the company is pushing hard to make the game a success even before its release next month. We are extremely grateful for the continued passion and support of PlayStation fans, Sony's Andrew House noted in a prepared statement. The PlayStation 4 system momentum just keeps growing stronger. And the reason this is one of the specific reasons why I enjoy the Sony the Sony console so much is because they come off like humble, and compared to Microsoft's responses to some questions, they come off pretty childish in my opinion from what I've been reading and keeping up with so far. And Sony are just very humble, even to the point where I read an article, hopefully if I'm able to find it I'll post it in the description somewhere, where it says Sony doesn't want the Xbox One to die out, because then Sony actually wants the Xbox One to succeed and be alongside it. So yeah, okay, so it said that's a fair statement, although it was initially unclear whether the PlayStation 4 sales advantage over the Xbox One through the holiday period was sustainable. The PlayStation 4 went on to outsell the Xbox One 2-1 in the United States in January, Sony says. Quoting NPD data, the 5.3 million figure is as of February 8th, and it represents sales to consumers, not just sales in the channel. Now, Sony said they're probably, if anybody's saying that, now that Sony have reached, their 5 million goal, they're probably going to get to like 7 million or something, which isn't going to be freaking hard considering, the PlayStation 4 hasn't released in Japan, and we know how Sony and Nintendo crazy they are. So, and the fact that when it actually went for, when they actually, were allowing the pre-order in Japan, how quickly, literally in under an hour, how quickly it was being pre-ordered off of Amazon as well as in store. So we all know it's gonna be crazy insane when this console drops in Japan, which is in another freaking day. It's gonna be crazy. But I think it's pretty impressive. We all know that, like I mentioned in my other video, that Sony didn't have a good start to the PlayStation 3. I mean, they did pretty, even though they did end up doing pretty good in sales last gen with the PS3 against the Xbox 360 and stuff. They still started out pretty shitty, with the whole $600 console, and saying we had to get 2 jobs, and just being overall cocky with certain things. So a lot of people didn't like that, and blah blah blah. I myself didn't like it, which is why I waited down the line, and I wish I would have waited more to get a PlayStation 3. I actually got my PS3 when it was the 40 gig version or whatever. So yeah, this is all the more impressive when you consider that the PlayStation 4 is yet to launch in Sony's home market of Japan. Just what I was just talking about. When it launches in Japan, it's going to be a total different story. Yeah. It will launch there on Saturday alongside about 25 game titles, many of which are specific to that very important market. Now, I'm going to say this. I see people putting a lot of things about Sony not having any games, and they don't have anything, and right now the Xbox One has all the games and blah blah blah. And it's funny because this same little argument was used between the PS3 and the Xbox 360, and it's funny that people would even think about saying it has no games when the thing has only been out for freaking 2 months. And again, I guess this will offend some people, but I'm sorry, but it makes you a freaking idiot if you have the nerve to purchase the PlayStation 4 and you had a PlayStation 3, and you have the nerve to complain about it not having any games when it just came out and it's only been out for fucking 2 months. And you should have held on to your PS3 a little bit longer, because believe it or not, they are still supporting their PlayStation 3. So let's not just quickly ditch it, you know. So where am I? So yeah, it is impressive the amount of sales they got just around the UK and the USA, and then it's going to be even more impressive with the sales they're going to make when once they launch it tomorrow. It's crazy. Um, Falling behind early in the next gen race, Microsoft has seemingly put all its eggs in one basket. See, let me mention this also. The PlayStation 3 was getting bad press and all that other stuff, but it wasn't for... I don't believe the PlayStation 3 was getting as much bad news as the Xbox One is getting, because it seems like when you turn around, the Xbox One is getting more bad news while the PlayStation 4 just continues to get more positive news. And it's funny on that because a lot of people are beating the fact that the PS4 is getting positive news and saying, you guys are Sony fanboys, or you people are in Sony's pockets. And I'm like, hold up, how can you say that when Sony has had nothing but good news? I mean, yeah, they get their bad news too, but they get more positive than bad compared to what Microsoft are getting. And that's not really being a fanboy, fangirl, whatever. That's an actual fact. If you've been actually keeping up with a lot of these major gaming YouTube channels, as well as, you know, gaming news in general, then you would know. So Microsoft has seemingly put all its eggs in one basket. A new game called TitanFall that will be offered only on Xbox One and Windows-based PC, developed by a newcomer company called Respawn. TitanFall combines the frequentic, and violent multiplayer mayhem of Call of Duty with a futuristic set that includes most notably giant mechanical robots called Titans that players can control. The name refers to the way the Titans are delivered to the player. They fall from the sky. Okay, so this is also a thing that's been bothering me about this whole Titanfall situation, and a video that I was recently on of somebody I'm sub to. So it's like that video just started off a mass of something, because now people are trying to say this game that we barely heard about since like last year's E3, you know, Sony announcing it, and Sony literally just coming out with a trailer for it about a few days ago, aka the name of this game is called The Order 1886. People are now trying to say that game is overhyped. He was basically saying that 1886 is overhyped, but Titanfall isn't. I'm like, huh? And he was saying, when a lot of people came at him for it, he was saying it's because we haven't played 1886, so it's overhyped. I was like, what? Like, when did people start changing the meaning of overhyped? When did having to actually play a game or not play a game determine a game to be overhyped or not be overhyped? I've never heard that shit in my freaking life yet. When I was on this video and on a few other sites and stuff, people were calling it overhyped, when literally, again, Sony just released a trailer like a few days ago. The second trailer, dude, it was like a few seconds of gameplay. I know, basically, this whole situation popped off from this dude from IGN who looked at footage of 1886 about a year ago, and basically he tried to say, you know, he was saying the visuals and everything were okay, but he didn't like the gameplay because it reminded him a lot of Gears of War or blah 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 bullshit. And basically he tried to recently bring that up, and basically he himself was upset because he was getting a barrage of hate comments coming his way on his Twitter and stuff like that. And I literally just looked at this video like, what, this huge question marks over my freaking head. Like, is this dude freaking serious? Is he freaking serious? How the hell can you get mad at people for getting mad at you for judging some footage that you played about a fucking year ago? Like, why even be surprised that people are coming at you like this when you're being an asshole so early on to something that literally only had 2 trailers out? And then on top of it all, because the video also mentions, because oh, it's been in development for a long time, so that worries me as well. I'm like, what the fuck? I was like, how the hell is all of a sudden games taking years to make? How is that all of a sudden a problem? Now, if the game was taking like 10 years, like a game called Too Human, then yeah, I can see people getting angry and upset and mentioning it and stuff. But God forbid a game takes 4 years to make and improve and polish on stuff, and it's getting crap for that. And I'm like, and I also threw that in my comment as well, like, why aren't you guys jumping on the other developers who took 4 to 5 years to make their games? Why is it suddenly a fucking problem to jump down this game's throat for taking 4 years to make? And these are about new, like, these are under these aren't exactly new developers, but because they made the God Awards for the PSPs and a few other games, so they aren't exactly new. They just aren't like as well known as a lot of developers are out here. So people like literally are already doubting the crap out of this company and believing they won't be able to do it, and even to the point where the game looks so good. Hold on, damn it. Okay, the game looks so freaking good that people were calling the gameplay and the cutscenes were saying that the gameplay was the cutscenes, but you can clearly see that it was gameplay. Like this game just had a second trailer out and people are literally already hating hard on this game. Like, it makes no freaking sense, and I just don't understand why Sony are getting all this crap. Like, why is it hard to just give credit where it's due regardless of what system you're on? Like, seriously? Ugh. But like me, I mean, I can give credit to the developers of Titanfall due to the fact that they said, one said, don't get the game based off of faith, get it because you want it and you trust it, and blah blah blah. And I say I give him mad props and kudos for that, because he's actually respecting gamers on a level. So, but Titanfall isn't my type of game. Oh, let me also bring that up too. It was also being said that because a lot of people wanted to get the game on their PCs, or because they didn't want to get it on their PCs, or they didn't like it, they were being called PlayStation 4 fanboys, or jealous, or being haters. Like, wow. Because somebody's preference is to get the game on the PC version, to get the PC version of this game, they're jealous, or they're PlayStation fanboys. Like, it's 2014, dude. I'm pretty sure everybody has a strong enough PC to play this freaking game, so let them get the game on whatever freaking system they want to. Now, what are you going to say about all the people that said they're going to get it for their X360s? Like, what about them? I don't know, but it's just been crazy insane. I'm going to read one more line, and then I'm going to give my final thoughts. If you guys want to check this out, I'm going to leave the link in the description. So, it says, every Xbox fan has been dying to know more about Titanfall. A recent Xbox Wire post notes a corporate blog has been plugging away with a steady stream of new posts about the game for the past few weeks, and some mad bid to build excitement. An invitation only closed beta gave way to a public beta last weekend, and most people do seem to be pretty impressed. But a lot of people aren't. So, how big is Titanfall to Microsoft? It has pushed up the release of the March 2014 system update for Xbox One specifically, so that it will be delivered before Titanfall arrives. And Microsoft Work will respond on a redesigned version of the Xbox One wireless controller. The reason why the title in this irritates me is the fact that they're relying literally on one game for now to push their fucking console. Like, come on, Microsoft. This is what some gamers are mad about now, because it's because you're putting all your money into one damn game and just pretending like there's nothing else coming out for your freaking system. I'm pretty sure people are tired of playing the same. It's like they literally only go for everything that's just shooter, 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 shooter. Like, I recently read an article where they passed up a game called Rime, Rime, something like that. And basically, what's his name, Major Nelson or something like that, was basically regretting not buying it, and basically they took that game over to Sony, where Sony was like, okay, we'll give you a chance to publish it and blah 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 da 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 da. And I'm like, this is why they don't have any freaking games hardly for the freaking system, is because they keep rejecting things. They rejected Heavy Rain. If you guys didn't know, Heavy Rain was pitched to them, but they didn't like the idea of child kidnapping, when you really play the game, it's really not that freaking bad. So yeah. And a few other things in the game they didn't like. I'm like, sometimes you gotta take risks in order to get variety on your system, dude, because this is not working. This is why I say my preference, I say this all the time, that my preference is with Sony, because they actually take risk, they're humble, they give me variety. So okay, I guess this article really isn't that big. The last part says, but Titanfall is just a single game, and though it is possible that Respawn might have a Gears of War level success on his hands, it's a bit early to be hoping for Call of Duty or Madden numbers, and Microsoft's PlayStation board problems probably have more to do with pricing than games. Anyway, its console costs $100 more than PS4. To get consumers to upgrade, the firm will need to lower prices and deliver a lot more new games. I agree with that. So let me get my final thoughts. My final thoughts about this is Microsoft need to stop just focusing on these dude bro shooter games. They need to get more variety on their console. They need to stop being afraid to take risks. I think they should be a lot more humble. They should let their games and their console speak for itself, because as of lately they haven't been letting they haven't been letting the console do that, and they've been doing more damage control than anything, from every article and video that I've been on. So they need to get their act together if they want more people to buy their console. And for goodness sake, man, get rid of the damn Kinect, because the Kinect is the reason why games are coming out and looking better on the PlayStation 4, and the reason why it's hindering a lot of what developers can do on the Xbox One than what they're doing on the PlayStation 4. So that is my final thoughts. Leave your comments down below of what you think of this whole situation. Do you think it's a good idea for Microsoft to be pinning all their hope on one game, and especially something like this? Does this game interest you? Have you played this game? What do you think about it? So yeah, leave answers down below, and I'll be sure to get back to this video as quickly as I possibly can. Thank you for commenting, subscribing, liking, disliking, whatever, and I'll speak to you guys later. Deuces.